Get out! Get out! Go, 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 go! Yeah! Dude, that is wild! Get the Dreadnought! Yeah! Yo, whoa, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy Dan, aka aDrive. I'm bringing you guys a brand new video today, and today it is time for Blastoise, baby. People have been excited for this character to be added to Pokemon Unite since even before it dropped. It was featured in various trailers, it was in a previous beta, and it is officially time. Blastoise is out right now. So I'm gonna give you guys the full rundown on Blastoise, what to expect and what you should be looking at for this character. I've talked to some other players that have been playing the game, and apparently Blastoise is pretty strong. One of my buddies actually thinks that this thing could get nerfed like hotfix because it's so strong right now. So definitely worth looking into, but again, we're gonna break it all down in this video. If you guys enjoy, be sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel. And otherwise, guys, I'll be streaming all day the video this day goes out on twitch.tv/aDrive playing Blastoise. So if you want to tune in, twitch.tv/aDrive, and you go to teamshiny.com and pick up this awesome Squirtle Squad Team Shiny shirt, which is amazing. But we're gonna obtain Blastoise, and I'm gonna break everything down. It's 8,000 gems. I don't actually have the gems, but I'll use my paid currency here because I just bought Pikachu yesterday. And you can see he is a ranged defender, and man, we're gonna break it all down for Blastoise. So I'm gonna hop into a practice match first. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit about what Blastoise does, and then I'm gonna show you guys some gameplay as well. In terms of a battle item you wanna be rocking for Blastoise, I think eject button is always a safe bet, so we're gonna start with that. In terms of held items, I don't know what these held items are, default on it. I think with his ability Torrent, it makes a ton of sense to have Focus Band, so I would highly recommend starting there. I also think Buddy Barrier is an incredible item in this game. I think it's probably the best item in the game, so I would definitely recommend Buddy Barrier. And then for your last item, I think there's a few things you could look at. I think you could look at Score Shield for sure, but I've also heard of a lot of success with Muscle Band so far with this Pokemon, so I would be looking at those two things. Muscle Band is going to increase your basic attack speed, as well as do a little bit of extra damage there. I would say Muscle Band is probably the play. I think you could definitely make an argument for Score Shield. We're gonna be testing out Muscle Band for the purposes of this video. Now looking at its moves, he's got a couple different things. He's got Hydro Pump and Water Spout, as well as Surf and Rapid Spin. Now, the two main sets that I've heard people discussing so far are Surf and Hydro Pump. Surf gives a good amount of mobility because of how it works, how you kind of shoot forward with Surf, and then obviously Hydro Pump can deal a massive amount of damage and actually shove them. But I think there's a lot to be said, and this is the kind of the secret set that a buddy of mine told me about, and it is Water Spout and Rapid Spin. And what happens is you can actually spam Water Spout, Rapid Spin, Water Spout, and Rapid Spin is actually going to reduce the damage, reduce the cooldown of that other move. So we're gonna test that set first and kind of show that off, but like I said, my buddy Rin hit me up with a screenshot of him doing 133,000 damage. It's just crazy stuff. So let's hop into a practice match. Let's get the feel for Blastoise. Obviously, he starts off as Squirtle. He doesn't get to Blastoise till level 9, which is generally after the first Dreadnought fight. So that's something to be mindful of. He doesn't really get his full tankiness until mid-game, but I feel like when he gets there, the amount of damage he can do and the amount of damage he can take is going to be really powerful, and his Unite move's pretty solid. Really exciting character to mix up the metagame here. So you Water Spout, Rapid Spin, and then you hold Water Spout. Oh, you gotta hold it. You gotta hold it, dog. That's what I was doing wrong. You gotta, so what you guys gotta do is you gotta hold Water Spout while you're spinning, guys. You gotta do that. You gotta hold Water Spout while you're spinning. And I did not do that in my little intro because I had no idea that that was a thing. Oh my god! Dude, when you do it that way, it's crazy! Oh, baby! We got some really big weaknesses here. We almost got them. I gotta get out. I gotta get out. I weaken them so hardcore though. So you can see he is a ranged kind of attacker here using Water Gun. You can blast things back. It does have a shove back effect there on Water Gun, which is pretty cool. And you can kind of farm the different minions. And look at Water Gun coming off. It shoots off. You do have to aim it, and it will have a knockback effect, which is pretty cool. Now we get access to Skull Bash, which you ram forward and you charge forward and dash at the opposing Pokemon, which I think is actually pretty dope. You can fire off Water Gun, which has a nice little range there, but obviously Skull Bash, charging forward, dealing damage, and does have a little bit of a stun effect there as well. At level 5, you evolve into War Turtle and you get access to Water Spout rather. So you can launch that Water Spout off and it deals multiple hits of damage in the same area. So when you do that Water Spout, you're going to be able to basically hit the opposing Pokemon multiple times in that effect area. So it's actually pretty solid if you're hitting multiple targets that are grouped up in a team fight or something like that. And it does okay damage. It's nothing too crazy, but you can see it just continuously drops on their head and deals damage. And that actually did quite a bit when all is said and done. Should be really good for bees, which you would probably be able to get to level 5 by the time bees drop, or darn close. You can see it's going to chip away. It doesn't do a ton to the Vespiquen, but does chip away at the little baby bees. When you hit level 7, that's where things get really fun. You get access to Rapid Spin, and you can actually attack while you're Rapid Spinning. So I'm Rapid Spinning here, and you can actually stop the Rapid Spin, right? So that's the thing. But you can Rapid Spin and attack and use basic attacks and Water Spout while you're in Rapid Spin. And again, it resets the cooldown. So we're going to show you guys that right now. So I'm going to Water Spout, I'm going to Rapid Spin, and then I can Water Spout again while I'm Rapid Spinning. Did you see that? That's actually very, very spammable, allowing you to do a ton of damage in team fights. Water Spout, Rapid Spin. I'm dealing all this damage with Rapid Spin, and then I can just Water Spout again. You can also basic attack. Very, very cool. Water Spout, Rapid Spin. And look, I'm also attacking as I'm doing it, and then I can Water Spout again. Very, very cool. So you can attack with your A attack while you're spinning as well. And look at that, it shoots out a really cool effect, and you still get your boosted auto as well. You can actually fit off almost 2 boosted attacks while you're Rapid Spinning. Level 9 is when you get Blastoise finally, and you can be rolling around, shooting off Rapid Spins, and then you get access to your Unite move, which is very cool. Obviously, Buddy Barrier, he actually has a little waddle going on. Buddy Barrier is very clutch because you can help your allies out, but you'll see it takes a second to charge it up, does a nice little spin, maybe 2 spins actually, and blast the opponent with those 2 spins. So that's a basic rundown. When you're using this set, it's all about Water Spout, Rapid Spin, Water Spout again, right? Being able to get that massive damage off. You can also use your regular attacks, your auto attacks as well, which is where Muscle Band comes into play, and you can deal massive damage with Blastoise. He can actually deal quite a bit of damage when you're using that combination. And don't forget, you can also wait until your cooldown ends for Rapid Spin and just fire off another Water Spout as opposed to like waiting. But it does reset the cooldown. You get another Water Spout back, which is very, very epic. Also, I didn't mention it earlier, but the Hollow Wear is available for Blastoise if you want him to look dapper as ever. Let's take a look at that other moveset as well. So now we take a look at Blastoise with Hydro Pump and Surf, and this is where things get really cool. Look at that mobility on Surf. And you can actually ride pretty far away with Surf and actually deal a good amount of damage, push the opposing Pokemon away from their team, and it can be really powerful for crowd control. Look at that movement there. I'm able to move pretty far. That's like pretty good movement. Now we're going to show you guys Hydro Pump as well, another option. And Hydro Pump seems to deal more damage the closer you are to the opposing Pokemon. So if you're right on top of them and you blast them point blank with Hydro Pump, you're going to actually do more damage. You can see there that Audino definitely took more damage when I was closer to it than when I was farther away. So very, very cool stuff. We also know that the boosted auto for Blastoise seems to be reducing its cooldown. Did you notice that? If you watch the bottom screen for Hydro Pump, and this seems to be the case for pretty much all of Blastoise's moves. I'm going to get his boosted auto here. I get it set up. I go for Hydro Pump, and then I attack a 3rd time, and it skipped a split second there. It actually gave me a split second faster of being able to do that. So I'm going to push forward here. I'm going to serve, and look at that. It continues to push the Zeraora back. So a lot of people are feeling like this is going to be the main set for Blastoise. I do feel like there's a lot of viability in the Rapid Spin set. The Rapid Spin set does reduce your damage output when you're Rapid Spinning, but I feel like the mobility that you gain there and the fact that you can spam and reduce your cooldown on your attacks is actually pretty nuts. I'm pretty sure you can also use Hydro Pump while using Rapid Spin, so don't forget that as well. But it seems like Water Spout, Rapid Spin can deal a tremendous amount of damage, and of course you always have the option to use your Unite move, which I'm going to show you guys in a second. You can actually Unite move and eject button, which is a really fun tip. So I'm going to Unite move, and then I'm actually going to eject button while I'm in my Unite move. So much like Cramorant, if you're using your Unite move and you're stuck in one place, you can eject button to a different location, use that Unite move, and then ultimately, kind of reposition yourself to deal more damage or to be in a better situation. So I'm gonna hop into a game and kind of see how things go running Blastoise. We are gonna be running Rapid Spin Water Spout, and again, I think the spammable damage you can get from that by going for Water Spout, Rapid Spin, Water Spout auto attacks, I think that is gonna be really, really powerful. I think that's what's gonna actually be the bread and butter for Blastoise, despite the fact that Surf and Hydro Pump have some viability. Again, things are very new. The character just came out a few hours ago, but I would experiment went with various sets. I do think there's viability to both, but I have a feeling, based on what I'm talking to with my team here, the guys I've been kind of working with over the last, few weeks, it seems as though that Water Spout and Rapid Spin is going to be kind of the play for Blastoise. So let's give it a test in a game here. All right, so I'm going to start off by just going top lane and kind of farming some of the objectives here. I've basically been exclusively playing Crustive for those of you guys who've been watching my streams. We actually worked to top 500 yesterday in the world in terms of master rank, which is very, very epic. And I've been grinding every day. So like I said, if you guys want to see more, Squirtle gameplay, you definitely want to tune in. Fun fact, if you're ever playing this here, you really want to push forward, try to get this middle core fish here. And looks like we're not actually going to get this one. But you're going to fight for that middle one. And then you can either try to push their side or kind of just continue to farm your side here with the Aipom. Look at that pushback. That knockback is actually really, really strong. Their jungle seems to be coming up already, so gonna be a little careful here. I wonder if I can actually push them back towards our side, and I can. Look at that. That is actually crazy, and we're gonna get a huge KO on the Absol right away. That knockback on Water Gun is actually gonna allow Squirtle and Blastoise to be a very strong early laner in that regard only. Just that effect right there, you guys saw what I was able to do. I was able to knock back very, very quickly to my team. You have decent mobility as you can obviously skull bash there, push forward. I have bees coming up in 2 seconds. I wanted to try to get to level 4 here. We don't evolve until 5. Bees are up though, so I have to kind of get over here. I don't know if their jungle is going to be here, so we should get a good amount of these bees. Nice knockback on the Machop, and we can actually potentially farm this Machop. He's going to get away, so I'll just take my farm here. And that's going to get me really close to evolving, but I do need one more farm, and I think this core fish could do it. I'll try to get it before anyone else does here. I do get it, and I'm gonna go Water Spout as I had indicated, and we'll be able to Water Spout here. I can Water Spout this kind of farm there. I'm just gonna keep farming at this point until I get my next levels, because ultimately you really have to be careful. You don't have your full bulk until you evolve, so into Blastoise. I just love the mobility you get out of Skull Bash early game. That's really, really good. And this Machop, I think we can probably get him here. It looks like my Water Spout went the wrong direction. I probably would have had him otherwise. I'm gonna stay up for bees because I just feel like we actually get access to Rapid Spin. So I can Water Spout, Rapid Spin, auto, Water Spout, deal massive damage. I do want to get out of this fight though. I love that mobility that you gain through using Rapid Spin there. That's so good. I'm gonna want to rotate pretty soon because I want to be able to get into the fight for Dreadnought here. Looks like this guy really is pretty dedicated. All right, and as I get out of my shell, I do indeed get to be a big Blastoise here. And I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna go for the big hit here. I'm gonna hit, I got kind of stunned inside that. And we're gonna Rapid Spin. We're gonna use our auto attack here. And we're actually just gonna ult out of this, I think. Let's see how much it does. Wow, pretty good damage there, actually. And we force him out. I don't know if he's gonna be able to break this. He may, because I don't have Score Shield, but my Buddy Barrier almost saved me there. It doesn't, unfortunately. But I'll finish off this Vesequin here, and we'll keep on keeping on. It looks like they are doing Dreadnought. I'm curious if I can swipe this. I'm gonna try. I think it's actually worth trying. I'm doing my Rapid Spin, but I'm definitely gonna die here. Yeah, there's not enough damage, and my teammate is a little bit farther away, so I don't think we're gonna quite get this one. We're gonna fire off that auto attack. We do get this one, and we can actually deal some pretty big damage here to this Machamp. Firing off our auto boosted, and we do pick that up. We've got Water Spout boosted here, and we can actually hit into this Blastoise and go for a Rapid Spin, reset that cooldown, fire off those auto attacks, and again, just continuously spamming attacks. I don't think there's a whole lot we can do about that. I can try to fight him here, but this Blastoise has a bit more levels on me with his Surf set. I'm gonna try to get any points I can. Crustle seems to be farming, but I think that is gonna be a loss for us. It's all good. Crustle farming a little bit here, but I don't really think it's gonna be enough. I don't have any points myself. We were winning up until this point, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. He's gonna get in 30, which is gonna break, but it's not even an overcap. Yeah, we come just short, but it's all good, man. It was fun to try out Blastoise. I'm obviously mechanically not very good with him, but I think you give me a couple games and I think we'll have a lot of fun with him. So I would definitely recommend trying out that Rapid Spin set. I feel like there's a lot of possibilities there from what I'm seeing. I think there's also viability there for Surf and Hydro Pump. But ultimately, new character, new fun to try out. That was my first game with him. So if you guys want to watch me on twitch.tv/aDrive, we'll be grinding all day. You can see I've been grinding Crustle, man. Crustle's been my main. And we've already worked our way up to top 600. We were top 500 yesterday, which is pretty crazy. I've been grinding this game like crazy, guys, like so much. And I've been having so much fun with it. So I hope to see you guys there. Like the video if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. And I'll see you guys for our Blastoise showcase on twitch.tv/aDrive. Peace.